Hello, my name is John.
And I'm Nikki, and we are the bosses next door.
And today, what are we talking about?
The anti-hustle recruitment strategy.
Right. How often, well, we learned a valuable lesson at Little John's, and we've learned it at other companies too, but like you hire because they're breathing, you hire because, oh my God, I have this need right now. And then we were talking when we were putting this together, reflecting on, man, some of those hires weren't necessarily great hires. They're great people potentially, or they have, but that's not what their passion is. Their passion isn't being a customer service rep or being a CSR or being a crew lead or being a manager or whatever. But they like said yes because they're like, I need a job. I'm hungry.
Right.
There. Mm-hmm. And so then how, like what lessons did we learn, you think, from that? Because I think we learned a lot of lessons, especially this last like couple of years.
Well, in the beginning, like you said, we would take anybody who was breathing. If they had a pulse, we're like, okay, we can show you how to work a mower.
Yeah.
It didn't always work out.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people didn't really want to work. And that's a hard thing. Like if you're coming in for a job and you're like, okay, I really want to get this. I need money. Like whatever your situation is, be ready to work.
Oh, yes. And I'd add to that. Sorry. It's okay. Also like they're telling you a story without telling you a story, right? So you interview them like, oh, you had a problem with every manager before you, or you come in with chanclas or sandals and you just like look like you rolled your butt out of bed, and it's like, come on, man, right? What's really interesting, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like typically the guys, even in the field, if they come in for a landscape maintenance company and they're like dressed not to the nine, but they're like put together, they tend to work out a lot better than the guys that come in look like they dragged themselves out of bed. Fair?
Right.
Fair?
And high. We get people that are high all the time. How do you come to an interview high?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
Do what you want, but not in an interview.
Not in an interview.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead. So like it is, they're telling you the warning signs.
Right.
I think there's times when we were, especially when we're small, we were so desperate to hire. We're like, well, maybe, or we wanted it more than they did.
Right. They could work. Well, we'll give them another chance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, I think you're right in the fact that they tell you a story. Like the more questions you ask, like we've talked before about how our approach to interviews is not like by the book anymore. We no longer ask the standard 10 questions that we used to.
Right.
Now it's a conversation. Tell me why you want this job. Tell me what's going on in your world. Why do you think you'd be a good fit here? Why did you pick Little John's? Why did you pick Call Boss? Like, tell us more.
Yeah, and then you just shut up and you let them talk.
Yeah.
Because they will tell you, right? They'll tell you more than they should tell you.
For sure.
For sure. And that is from the field all the way up to like mid to high level managers. We've had that experience. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
And so if you just kind of like roll back, be quiet, listen to what they're saying, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And we've had some people, and man, this is like some higher level managers that we brought in, we thought for sure. And then we get them in here and you just let them, like you said, it's not a traditional interview. Because we get a lot like, oh, this is not a normal interview that I've ever been in. Mm-mm. I feel so comfortable. Well, yeah, you feel comfortable. They break down the wall. And then you realize real fast, you're like, oh.
Are they blaming everyone in their past? Did they blame all their last employers? Like, what are the things that happened?
Right.
Or are they telling you a story about how they've overcome so many different things? And you're like, you could be a great fit here.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the glass half full, not the glass half empty.
That's how we roll at all companies. And John and I are very much glass half full.
Right.
Like, show me the positive. What are we getting out of this? Like, how is it going to work? What can we do to be better? Like, all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it works out and it's infectious to employees.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
So what's interesting too is, so I think that's just one of the lessons. You have to not just hire to hire. And sometimes, look, when we were small, we hired because they were breathing.
For sure.
Man, they just help us out for this week. Like, we're good and we'll keep looking, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I think as the company grew, Little John's grew, and as the culture got really good and we moved into a nice building, the quality of and type of person improved. Because I think that overall, in all of our companies, but like overall in the companies, you have to, an employee, right? Like set yourself in their shoes, right? What's the environment like? Is it clean? Is it like, are they inviting when you get there, right? Because like that's their first impression of how you are. If you're late to show up for an interview, or you're not ready, or you're not saying hi to them, right? Like, I'm not even interviewing most of the guys anymore, and I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? Good luck,
For sure, yeah.
Right? Because I want to set them up, like, so we can get the best opportunity. Maybe there's a gym in there.
Well, I think it's really good to say, because when people walk through the door at Little John's, they're greeted first by someone who will go in and say hello and would you like a water? Then typically you or I will walk by and speak to people and just like, what brought you in today? And talk to them a little bit before they even get to the interview. So now they've been introduced to 2, maybe 3 people. Yeah. That's super inviting. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do, is make people feel welcome.
Yeah. Absolutely right, because I think that's part of it, right? Now, they have to do their part, and that's what we're talking about. Like, the recruiting side is like, that's just part of it, because they're judging you just as much as you're judging them, right?
Right.
And you're trying to understand it. And I think, like, we want to be inviting, no matter who they are, at least give them an opportunity. And sometimes there's people who, like, walk through there, there's no flipping way, riddled with face tattoos, and hey, good for you guys. You can get a face tattoos, whatever. Just for us, with all the residential customers, is hard to pull off.
Right. Some of our guys are really skilled that do have those type of tattoos, but they typically cover them when they're working anyways. So, I mean, it just works out.
Right. So I think that, like, setting the tone, having the right, like, environment when they come in gives them an opportunity to open up, right? And then you're going to find some gems, but you just can't. I think the other part is you just can't settle, and I think that's what we've learned quite a bit over the.
Right. Well, when we were talking about putting this together, you were saying hire to grow, not settle. And there's been many times when we've settled, inside and out, field and office, right?
Absolutely.
Like, we just need someone to help, but they didn't have the capacity to grow.
And then we would have, in full transparency, we would justify why they were okay and why they potentially could do it, even though their track record since they had been with us showed us they couldn't do it.
Right.
Right. And so we wasted time and money when we just needed to cut it loose and go, right?
It took us a little bit to learn that too, though, and to be able to have that hard conversation with that person of, you're just not picking up what I need you to pick up.
Yeah.
Right? And so now we're in a different spot. 13 years later, we can have that conversation and move it on. But you still want to give people ample time. They have clear expectations, a clear task list. Like, people know what they're accountable for.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just don't have the capacity.
Yeah. And I do, like, immensely, it doesn't matter from the field up to the management, it doesn't matter what company, like, if we lose somebody, like, I really will, like, think about that for a little bit. Like, okay, like, did we do everything? Were they set up for success or not? Like, I want to know, like, what we could have done to, like, made their experience better.
Sure.
And it's very interesting. Like, I learn a lot about myself and, like, things we could do that better. And I think we've made some of those changes, because not everybody's a bad employee. Sometimes it's just the wrong timing in life, and sometimes just the wrong environment, or whatever that may be.
Right.
Right. But yeah, you should always be hiring. And I learned that now. Like, we should always be hiring for not the immediate need. Like, if oh my God, I need this person, we should have already hired that person. Because by the time you're busting at the seams, you need them, it's too late. Like, you should have already had that person, because there's training, or there's interviews, there's the onboarding, there's the training, there's all the things that come with it.
But the good news for us is we have Call Boss. So when that does happen in, like, an office setting, when we need to have someone else, we've got a backup support system that already is trained and knows what to do.
Absolutely right. Yeah, no, it's absolutely. And I think that's been a savior for us multiple times, right?
Right.
And it's like, and it's also, I think, it gives us an opportunity not to have to rush to hire, because we know that, hey, we have this backup that works really well.
Right.
That we probably use a lot more than we maybe should.
Right now we are.
Yeah. But I think that works. Yeah.
It does. And we're hustlers, and we've talked about this too, but is it always good to hire people that are hustlers? Because how long can a hustler keep going? When do they burn out?
Yeah, I think there's a difference between like a hustler, like, right, a hustler is always looking for, like, the next quick deal, whatever. Like, those are dangerous, because they have new ideas every 30 seconds, right?
Right.
Just like a quick start does if you do Colby and that kind of stuff, which I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Or do you have somebody who is a fantastic, like, super dependable person that is okay with the boring, right? They love the repetition. They love the structure. They love the things like they just every day trying to make it a little bit better. Like you look at those people and they just, how well they thrive in environments.
I would pick somebody who can handle repetition and being somewhat bored at times, but always still growing and learning versus someone who's always looking for the next best thing because they're not going to be with us long.
They won't be, they'll always like the shiny object syndrome, right? Oh man, I thought I could do this or whatever. Have you ever thought about whatever? I'm like, no, man, stop. Go back in your lane.
Actually, we did 4 years ago, but here we are. So let's look at this. Right.
Yeah, because they have no idea what the history is, whatever.
Right.
But it is good. Like you get ideas from people. But yeah, I think the person that is repetition. So like right now we sign up for this marketing platform that we're building out ourselves for like big email campaigns, stuff like that. And it's really interesting. There's 3 people working on them over there, and they're all very process oriented.
Yeah.
And I am sure I drive them crazy. And it's not on purpose because I'm like, sing, 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 sing. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like,
Yeah, you're like, this is what I want to do. This is what it looks like. This is how you get there. Okay, take it and run.
And they're like,
wait.
Yeah.
We need more details.
When do you want this done by? What does this need to look like? So, and I'm starting to learn. I'm doing a better job because I'm stopping myself and like, okay, what do they need? Or I'll like circle back around. Okay, did all that make sense? Or what do we need to work on? And like, Mikey would be like, oh God, okay, like what are we doing here, right? So,
but that's growth for you though, because there was a time when you would spit, fire hose, all the stuff out. People got to pick it up and keep going, and then you walk away, and everybody's going, "What do we do?"
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll ask Nikki. And then I'm like, "Let me find out." And then, okay.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot more going on that you don't even know about, huh?
Right now,
yeah,
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I have enough in my world that it's okay. Yeah. But this time you did really good because they're not asking me.
That's right.
They know what you've delivered.
I've done this a couple times now.
At least one.
But I think that's what is like this growth on my part, right? Like
For
how
sure.
do I support the teams better? How do I do a better job? And so like we have a company that's all in-house basically, and then we have 2 companies that are all remote. And so it just blends itself to other, like because you can't sit in a conference room and meet, or they just can't walk by and grab me. That's where I think I have to do, like I'm working on trying to do a much better job.
No, I'm giving you kudos. You are doing a much better job.
It's very nice of you.
I know.
But I think that's like part of it, right? So like going back to the hiring thing, right? Don't hire for what you've already needed. Hire for what you're going to need, right? That's hard to do sometimes because you're like, man, that person could be pretty expensive.
Right.
But man, hiring the person, spending that little extra money and hiring that person, it can make all the difference in the world.
Yeah. The quote we got when we were putting this together was stop looking for hungry talent because hungry people are looking for a meal, not a mission. And I was like, oh, snap. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Because people come in the door hungry all the time, but are they really hungry?
Yeah. Or are they hungry and you got the best interests of the company, right? Or are they just hungry and they're going to move on to the next thing?
Right. I'll be here about 3 weeks, get enough money to get to the next. And
which
it's
happens
like, okay,
too.
Well, yeah.
And I think there's a reason why we string out some of our like mid-level up interviews. I think we string some of those out a little bit because I think we're trying to figure out if they're just going to bounce in, bounce out.
Right. Yeah. We always are looking for the person that's going to be with us long term. But again, that person that helps us get to level A may not be there to help us get to level B.
And that is very interesting. It's very interesting, and it's a little sad. But I think that is just like as we've been in business longer and longer, it's kind of the reality, right?
Yeah, I think we've seen that in different stages along the way, especially over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's not always bad. And sometimes, like we've talked about seasons before, sometimes it's just their season.
Yeah.
Or they're not accepting of the person that's coming in maybe above them. We typically try to like grow and promote from within, but there are just pieces to the puzzle that sometimes you do have to go outside for to bring in someone who's already experienced what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, because I agree. There's times when you just can't. There's just that person's not available within the pipeline of your company.
Right. Or they just haven't done it. There's nobody here that's done what we want to do next.
Yeah.
It may be over somebody's head.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, it is interesting how
We,
to be like
you know, we don't make seats for people, but at the same time, like everybody's got a role. So it may not be for someone to bump up to the next level. They may be maxed where they are.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
It is interesting to think that we tried to purchase another lawn care company. We're in the process for a long, long time, and then it fizzled out because it just didn't make sense, right, financially. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting about that company is like everybody kind of hit their ceiling.
At that company?
I think everybody hit that ceiling, and I think that like the owner is just tired and done, right?
But I think part of that too is why they wanted us to buy them.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they were maxed out, and it's like, well, if you just come into what we're doing, we can scale this and keep going.
Yeah, because they said like, man, if you could just put your processes in with what we have, like, oh my gosh, right? And it was like, it is very shiny object syndrome. Like, oh, but we could do this, but the amount of work that actually takes is like astronomical.
Right. It was going to be a challenge to get all of that incorporated to what we have.
Plus everything else we're doing right now.
Right.
Right. So that part, that even makes it a bigger challenge.
But it worked out. Like that was meant to be at this time. Otherwise it would have happened a long time ago.
Right.
And so as it's taken a long time to get to this point, we know it's not going to happen right now. Who knows what will happen in a year? But in a year, we may be better suited to bring it in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Wild, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's okay. We got a whole lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, I think that's, to wrap that up, right? Don't take the knee-jerk reaction. And then when you're small, you're going to have to sometimes. Don't blame it on this guy just doesn't know. Well, did you show him right? Did you set them up for success? That's something we learned along the way.
Right.
When you bringing somebody in, yes, the skill level is different when you're first starting out. Mm-hmm. As you grow, the skill level changes. Don't be afraid to like check in with your network of people and reach out to other business owners. It doesn't have to be the same industry.
Right.
And just like, hey, I'm looking for this type of person, or when did you bring on this type of person? Like there's enough information out there now, especially like you should be able to find it.
So definitely take a moment to reevaluate your team, right? As you're hiring more people, are the people you have currently in the right seat? Is it a good fit? How are we looking there? But then also, maybe the hustlers aren't always the way to go. You want people that are in it to win it. But if they've always got a hustle mentality and they want to get to the next with that shiny object syndrome or whatever it might be, maybe that's not the way to go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, you need to there's a lot of information out there. That's what I was talking about. There's a lot of information out there. Just you can look and see what people's org charts look like and what's the next hires you probably should hire. Because that way you're not getting the trap of like, oh my gosh, I should have hired this type of person now when you should have hired them 6 months ago or a year, right? It gives you an opportunity. So you're looking. It's like you can strategically interview whatever. You're not knee-jerk reaction trying to get somebody to fill that spot, and they're not the right person.
Well, and to that point, like that happened when we were looking for someone to help with our books, and we ended up hiring a director of efficiency, right? Yeah. So we thought we needed one thing. We were trying to hire for that one thing and going through the interview process with multiple people, realizing that's not actually what we want.
Right.
We want someone who can analyze the data, not necessarily put the numbers in our QuickBooks, but be able to analyze and help us forecast and move forward.
Right.
But it came to pass after we started talking to people about a specific position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So digging in and looking at other avenues ahead of time to say, maybe this isn't what I need. What is it truly that I'm looking to find? What are the tasks and the skill set that I think we need?
Yeah.
And then what can that person do, but also what other things can they do that we're not even thinking about?
Yeah, and that whole thing came about because we don't have a traditional style interview, and we were like, hey, we're interviewing for this, but we're open to maybe what it really is looking like. And we brought a lady in, and she was like, no, I don't think you're looking for this. I think you're looking for this, and here's why. Mm-hmm. Remember that? And she broke down and talked about it. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And but she shed a lot of light on it.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, you're right. And so we would have missed the mark if we would have hired what we initially looked for.
We went back and looked at it and then did a little more research and said, okay, there's a whole nother tier of what this could be. Let's not just stay here, but let's take it up a notch, like you said, because we were talking about, can they do repetition and not get bored, but get better? This was the don't get bored, but I want to see it get better because there's so much more that we're looking for.
Yeah,
and that's what that evolved into.
Right.
Right? It wasn't even like in the same pay scale when it was all said and done.
No,
it was a completely different, higher level position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is still being finessed, right? So like they've been here
almost a year.
And there's still a lot to be learned, but it's like, it's gotten like, you see progressions in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Because we had to learn it too. We didn't know.
Right. But finding someone who's willing to go with the bumps and the waves, right? Like, okay, well, let's figure this out together.
Yeah.
So it's been good because we are not always changing that position. There is a set skill set of what's needed, but there's, what if I gave you more? What if we did a little extra?
Yeah.
And they're on board to do whatever. So it works.
They want to see it succeed.
Absolutely. Right? And that's the key piece for the people we have now. The team we have now at Little John's wants to see us succeed and grow, and they want to be a part of it.
Right.
And I think we had a version of that before, but it wasn't quite to the level we're at now.
So to that point, right, we get our numbers sent to us every week or every month, and they're supposed to be on the 15th of like February for January's numbers. And we were waiting. I work here till everybody's gone typically, or most days we both do. But it was the director of efficiency, our manager that runs everything outside, and myself. So we were like talking. Everybody had already left. We're in the hallway. We're talking, and then we got a notification that report just came through. Yeah. And so like I ran the computer. I'm like, and everybody waited. They were waiting, and we read off like what our profit margin was, which was 8% higher than last January. What our COGS were, which was 11% lower than it was last January. And then we did, I don't know how much more, $20,000 or $30,000 more than we did last January. So we're like, all right, because everybody could feel it. And there's all these things we're checking throughout the month, but it's like, it's neat to see a team that's that invested to make sure like, okay, were we right? Oh, heck yeah, man. Okay, cool. Now we know what little tweaks we need to do. And that's literally what we're going through this week is like, okay, what do we need to do to get better?
Right.
And we're in January, which is our slow year.
It's going to be a good year.
Oh, it's already a fantastic year. Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be a good year.
Talk that into existence because last year was tough. It was good, but it was not great.
Yeah. At least on the Little John side, it's going to be good.
Yeah, all sides.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So.
Perfect. Well, think about who your next hire is going to be and let somebody know to watch this episode so they can learn something about hiring too.
Yep. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.